to the OutLIer experience. I am your host, the OutLIer B, and we have a massive lineup for you guys today. First, we're going to be breaking down the historic week in New York City. And right off top, we diving into the sports landscape. The 53-year drought is finally over, my people. The New York Knicks are the champions of the basketball world, and we're tracing the championship DNA of Jalen Brunson right back to his local roots. Then, we're going to be matching this gritty squad up against the all-time legendary Knicks teams to see exactly where they land in the history books. After that, we're going to be looking at this week's weather that's coming up so that you can plan your week. We're going to highlight the major events kicking off across the city, and we're going to look past the mainstream media narratives to dissect the raw NYPD crime statistics borough by borough. Finally, we're going to close the show off with the wild, bizarre story from New York City's history that took place right during this upcoming calendar week back in 1857. A literal war between two rival police departments on the steps of City Hall. So lock in, drop a comment, and let's get into the data. Yeah.
About this case and their theory and how it didn't make any sense and how it didn't fit and how something is wrong. It occurred to me how they were going to come here and stand up here and tell you how O.J. Simpson was going to disguise himself. Was going to put on a knit cap and some dark clothes, and he was going to get in his white Bronco and this recognizable person and go over and kill his wife. That's what they want you to believe. That's how silly their argument is. And I said to myself, maybe I can demonstrate this graphically. Let me show you something. This is a knit cap. I'm going to put this knit cap on. And you've been seeing me for a year. If I put this knit cap on, who am I? I'm still Johnny Cochran with a knit cap. And if you look at O.J. Simpson over there, and he has a rather large head, O.J. Simpson in a knit cap from 2 blocks away is still O.J. Simpson. It's no disguise. It's no disguise. It makes no sense. It doesn't fit. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
All right, y'all. So the drought is finally over. The drought is over, my people. And it's been 53 years of waiting. 53 years of heartbreak, bad drafts, and near misses. It's officially over, my people. The New York Knicks are your 2026 NBA champions. And against all odds, they went out there in San Antonio and closed it out with a Game 5 win to win the series 4-1. And it was a gritty game, my people. They came out with the victory 94-90. And we got to talk about it, my people. We got to talk about it. This is a series that I'm very happy went down the way that it did. Now, I'm a New Yorker, but listen, I'm not a Knicks fan. If you guys follow the podcast, you cats know that I grew up loving the Nets, the New Jersey Nets, back with my boy Derek Coleman, back with Kenny Anderson, those guys. Those were my people. But I am a New Yorker. And again, anytime a New York team is in the championship, as long as it's not against one of my teams, I'm good. So I was very happy watching the game last night. And not only is it good for the Knicks, it's actually very good for our city. For our city of New York. We get so much bad rep and so many people look into our politics and say so much. This is something that is definitely going to bring the city together. It's some of my favorite times just looking at some of these YouTube videos and the New York Knicks fans just coming together, laughing, joking. They be jumping fans from other cities. Y'all need to stop that. I need to cut that out because it only is basketball. But as long as nobody get hurt too much, it is still kind of funny. It is still kind of funny, my people. But shout out to the Knicks, man. This is a team that has been overlooked the whole season. People were straight up disrespecting, talking about the real NBA Finals or the Western Conference Finals. People were basically giving the Spurs the championship before the game even started. But the Knicks changed that narrative, and all the games were competitive, man. You know, a made shot here, a mistake avoided there. It could have been a series that obviously went the other way, but it didn't. And for that, I am very, very, very happy, my people. But shout out to the New York Knicks. And I want to speak about Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson, man. You know, I like this cat. I like Jalen Brunson. I'm going to tell y'all why I like Jalen Brunson. Because, you know, his mother is from Long Island. She's straight from Lakeview, my people. Lakeview. That's out here in Nassau County. If you guys follow the podcast, you guys know every morning, 4:30, I'm leaving Freeport, New York, headed out to Queens. So shout out to all my people in Long Island. Long Islanders, we are very, very, very different. You know, we the overlooked people when it comes to New York. We are very overlooked. But we play a heavy, heavy, heavy role in almost every industry, my people. You got Long Islanders doing their things every single place, you know? And I gotta give a shout out to Jalen Brunson's mother, who is from Long Island. She is from Lakeview, my people, Lakeview. So when you read the story, y'all see what she did for that young man, man. She helped him. Of course, his father was in his life, but she helped him develop that grit that he has, man. And from my understanding, they list him as 6'2", but I hear he's not even 6. He's close to just 6 feet. And for a brother like me, who 5'9", that's what's up. You know, we're definitely the smaller people overlooked in the NBA. They overlooked him. They talk crazy about him, but he's just a hard worker, man. And he dropped 45 last night and was the Finals MVP. You gotta love that, yo. You gotta love that. He's like the little engine that could. He take a beating out there. He's always on the floor. He rarely complains. He's just your blue-collar, hard worker. And I can relate to that, man. I can relate to that because that's kind of the way I am, man. You know? So shout out to the New York Knicks. Shout out to all the New York fans, man. We definitely did it. And hopefully I don't act a fool this week during that damn parade, which we're going to speak about later on. So I grew up watching the Patrick Ewing Knicks. The Patrick Ewing, the Charles Oakley, the John Starks, those guys. That's the New York team that, I grew up watching. So the question is, how does Jalen Brunson and all of these guys play into the all-time Knicks? All-time Knicks. I want you guys to leave it in the comment section. What do y'all think, man? Who are some of your guys' favorite Knicks of all times? I'm going to give you my top 3 Knicks that I really like of all time, you know? So if it's going to be first for me, I got to give it to Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing. You got to realize he was around while my favorite player in the league, Derek Coleman, was around. But I always respected Patrick Ewing. He was a great center in college, and he also did his thing in the NBA. So shout out to Patrick Ewing. That is my favorite Knick of all time. My second favorite Knick gotta be Melo. Y'all know I rocks with Melo, man. I was following Melo's career since Syracuse. My people following his career since Syracuse. And I still remember when he brought the NCAA championship to Syracuse. That was a great game. And Carmelo is definitely somebody that the Knicks really, really, really rock with. And I would say my number 3 New York Knick of all time, I know it got to be a toss-up. This one's going to go to 2 people. All right, going to go to 2 people. I love me some Allen Houston. I thought Allen Houston game was crazy. So I put him number 3, Allen Houston. And I also put him up there with Marbury, and also Allen Houston. I put them both together. And those are my top 3 New York Knicks. So that's what up, you know. We about to go on a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to get into those weather and public event things that's going on in the city this week. Yeah.
We all go down unless we stay together. Ain't no one man above the crew. You know that shit. Crazy, man. You know what? When you said that last time, I was kind of tripping, right? But now, you're right. I am crazy. But you know what else? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about you. I don't give a fuck about Steele. And I don't give a fuck about Raheem either. I don't give a fuck about myself. Look, I ain't shit. I ain't never gonna be shit. And you less of a man than me, so as soon as I decide that you ain't gonna be shit, pow, so be it. You remember that, motherfucker.
Right, y'all. Welcome back. If y'all still with me, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Also, let me know what's some of your favorite Knicks. Who are some of your favorite Knicks of all times? What are some of your best memories in sports? Just drop it down in the comment section and join the conversation, my people. So we're moving along. We got to speak about that weather because we have the parade dropping on Tuesday. That's going to be at the Canyon of Heroes. But let's get into the weather, man. See how it's going to be. So if you plan on heading out to celebrate, the weather is finally going to give us a much needed break. We breaking out from the brutal heat wave from last week where the heat index pushed a suffocating 100 degrees. Now for this week, the temperatures are normalizing back to the standard mid-June patterns. So expect beautiful sunny conditions on Monday and Tuesday with highs stabilizing in the mid-80s. But also, keep your eye on the radar by Wednesday afternoon, though. We could have a cold front moving into the Atlantic corridor, and that's going to trigger some scattered summer thunderstorms. But don't worry, my people. Because it's going to completely clear out just in time for a prime summer weekend. And the major talks are definitely going to be about the parade on Thursday. But outside of the parade planning, the city's pulse is definitely accelerating. Outdoor summer stages like the Central Park Summer Stage and the Brick Celebrate Brooklyn, they're officially launching their full calendar of events this week. So head over to their websites to go check that out. You might find some things that you are interested in. And you know, New York City is one of the most exciting cities in the world. So there's always something to do. So let's say you visit in the city or you just want to take your girl or, your person out with you. I got some suggestions for you guys out for some local planning, for a specific night out. Or if you somebody just visiting the 5 boroughs, I got a couple spots for you to go to and chill, man. All right, y'all. So here is my suggestion. If you're visiting the city or if you want to take your girl or your significant other out, it's a little spot over here called, you can basically have a dinner in the clouds. My people have a dinner in the clouds at the Peak with Priceless Restaurant and Bar. So if you're an outlier, just like myself, and you're looking to pull off a completely unique high-impact date night that gets you away from the standard street-level spots, you need to head over to Peak with Priceless Restaurant and Bar in Hudson Yards, my people. And it ain't just a dinner. Nah, bro. It's not just a dinner. It's a real structural experience. It's located on the 101st floor, right above the Edge observation deck. It sits literally a level above the city's skyline. What's the vibes like, y'all, man? It's sleek and modern, and it's stunning. If you like me and you like city skylines, this is definitely an area for you because the whole spot is like a floor to ceiling glass window. So you get to see everything, man. You get to see everything. And you could create some beautiful times. So if you book a table right before sunset, you get to watch the whole city transition from daytime geometry into the glowing grid of lights while eating incredibly contemporary American cuisine, my people. So that's my pick for the week. If you visit in the city Or if you want to take your significant other out on a date, head over there, my people. It's called Peak with Priceless Restaurant and Bar, my people. It's the restaurant and bar. So head over there, my people. We about to go on a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get into those New York City crime statistics, my people. New York City crime statistics. We got some very, very, very important things to import. Yeah.
There you go. 4-punch, 5-punch, 6-punch combination. Body shot, bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. Try and stop it. Bang, bang. Here I come. Bang. Do you want to throw sometime? Bang. This is the Manny Pacquiao who has dominated boxing for the past 3 years. Bang. Bang, 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 bang.
And when Pacquiao...
Do you want to throw back? Bang. Keep coming.
When Pacquiao starts doing this, now I tend to agree, Plotty has to do something to keep him off.
No, he isn't.
All right, y'all. Welcome back. You're back on the OutLIer Podcast with your host, the OutLIer B. And this has been a fast-paced episode so far. We're going to slow it down a little bit with these crime stats. And we take these statistics very, very seriously, because these aren't just numbers. These are actual people who are victims of crime, and they represent real traumatic events. So we try to keep it very respectful, but we're going to read straight from the New York City CompuStat numbers, and here those numbers go. Citywide, the major index crime, they took a massive plunge by 10.6% over the last monthly cycle. Year to date, the overall major crime is down 6.2%. The biggest story in the data, that has to be murders. They plummeted by a staggering 20.9% citywide. And we are currently looking at the fewest murderers and fewest shooting incidents in recorded New York City history for the first 5 months of the calendar year. But you guys know my rule, and we like to get deep and we get a little nuance in the stuff. So, we got to separate the signal from the noise, and we don't just accept the averages. If you're a New Yorker and you want to know the types of crimes to look out for and which boroughs are carrying the highest crime volume, let's do a geographical breakdown. So if you are from Manhattan, you live in Manhattan, or if you're going to visit Manhattan, we got to talk about the raw volume. Manhattan, they definitely hold a crown, but not for violent crime. Violent crime in Manhattan is down significantly. In fact, car thefts plummeted 44.3% in Manhattan over the last month. But Manhattan dominates the data volume because of property crime, grand larceny, grand theft. Those are the major issues there. To put it in perspective, the rate of grand larceny in Manhattan is nearly 3 times higher than it is in Brooklyn. High-density commercial districts like Midtown dominate the retail and property theft, while violent crime anomalies remain highly localized in specific pockets like East Harlem. That's Manhattan. The Bronx. And the Bronx represents the biggest localized win in the data. The Bronx leads the entire city in crime reduction, down 11% year to date. And why? Because of the major structural pivot. The NYPD split the borough into 2 separate commands: Patrol Borough Bronx North and Patrol Borough North Bronx South. And when you look at the results since the management split, Bronx South alone has delivered 14.5% reduction in major crime index. Over the last month, the Bronx saw armed robberies drop 15.4% and burglaries drop nearly 20%. The strategy that they're using is flooding the zones with precision policing, and it seems to be working. Now, Brooklyn, you got Brooklyn. Brooklyn is a massive population baseline. So Brooklyn always handles the highest raw volume of crime complaints throughout the city. And it's also mirroring the city's decline, down about 6%, but it's a much slower squeeze. The specific metrics to look out for in Brooklyn are felony assault and grand larceny auto. Car thefts dropped like a rock in Manhattan, but it remains stubborn. It's a flat plateau in northern and southern Brooklyn neighborhoods. And to close out the data, you got to look at the transit and public housing. NYC developments are experiencing the safest start to a year in recorded history. The violent crime and murders inside public housing dropped a staggering 46.7%. Meanwhile, the subway system is keeping crime flat and down, dropping about 1.1% year to date. It's maintaining its safest operational footprint since 2009. The reality is that the half of the violent transit crime across are just 30 they're just 30. You know? So half of violent crimes occur at just 30 of the city's 472 subway stations. So basically that means that only 30 of the subway stations are causing most of the crime to happen in. You know, but it's a system-wide collapse. And overall, the crime in the transit city system is down, my people. Definitely down. That's all we got for the crime stats. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about that police riot in 1857. The police riot in 1857, man. You know? Take a quick break and we're coming right back at y'all.
Oh, would you look at that? How you doing? Oh, would you look at this? Oh, would you look at this? What is this, a pony?
No, the greyhound.
That is a dog.
That's a greyhound.
Oh, would you look at this? Oh, he's so handsome. Look at him. Just look at him.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Would you look at this? He's got the little the bells and whistles, too.
Oh, yeah. That's how I can hear it coming.
Yeah. Look at him. Oh, look at you. Look at this. Oh, look at him. He's gorgeous. Come on, buddy. You can do it. Would you look at this? He's running. Hello. Oh, goodness. Would you look at this little fella? Hello. Look at him. Just look at him. Oh, look at him. Look at him. Oh, he's gorgeous. Oh, that stinks. Look at that. What kind of dog is that? Oh, look at this. What's he called?
Peekaboo.
Peekaboo. Peekaboo. Oh, look at him. Look at him. He's so...
He's old.
Oh, he's handsome.
He's sick.
Just look at him. What happened to his coat?
Yeah,
He's old.
he's old.
He's an old timer, huh? Just look at him. Oh, he's so cute. Oh, just look at him. Look at him, sir.
Yeah, he's afraid.
He's afraid? Yeah. Oh, he's afraid. Oh, would you look at that? He's afraid of me. Why? I don't know. I'd be afraid too if my coat looked like that. Take care, sir. How you doing, sir?
How you doing?
Oh, that's a beautiful dog.
Yeah.
Oh, just look at him.
Boxer?
Look at him. It's a girl? Oh, just look at her. Hello. Hello. Oh, birthday? Happy birthday. Just look at you. Oh, my goodness. What is this?
What's that?
Oh, would you just look at that? What is
Just a nipple, that's all.
a nipple?
Yeah, that's it. Just
It looks like a speed bag. Oh, would you just look at that? Oh,
play with it too much.
don't play with it. I'm sorry. Oh, goodness gracious. Just look at the thing now. Just look at it. Just look at it.
All right, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back. And before we log off, I promise you a look back at a completely out of the ordinary moment in New York City history. This happened during the exact upcoming calendar week. We are traveling back to June 16th, 1957 for what history calls the Great Police Riot. Now imagine waking up past City Hall on Tuesday morning and seeing two rival, fully uniformed police forces engaging in an all-out, blood-drawn brawl on the steps of the government. Now this is not a movie plot, my people. It's real New York City history. And to understand how we got there, you got to understand the man behind the chaos, Mayor Fernando Wood. Now, Fernando Wood is arguably the most fascinating, brazenly corrupt mayor the city has ever seen. Before this man got into politics, he ran a Waterfoot grocery store that was basically a front for a rowdy, illegal saloon. The guy had a roguish charm, but he was a master demagogue, my people. He built a massive power base among the city's poorest immigrant classes, especially the Irish. He refused to enforce the state's strict temperaments and anti-drinking laws. To the underclass, he was a protector. To the state elite, he was a criminal mastermind. But by 1957, Wood had turned the city's police force, known back then as the municipal police, into his own personal political muscle. He was quite literally selling off high-ranking police titles to the highest bidder. Now, if you want to be a captain, you paid the mayor. The captains could then recoup their investments by shaking down local businesses, gambling dens, and brothels. The reformist upstate dominated state legislature finally got sick of Wood's operation, and in the spring of 1857, they passed a law abolishing Wood's municipal police and replaced them with the state-controlled force called the Metropolitan Police. But Fernando Wood, y'all know he wasn't the type of man to back down. He flat out refused to disband his local cops. He sued the state and told his men to keep patrolling. So for over a month in New York City, it had two completely separate police forces walking the same exact beats. And it was just straight up pure chaos, y'all. If a state metropolitan cop arrested a guy, a city municipal cop could show up, beat up the state cop, and let the criminal go. It all boiled down on June 16th, y'all. A massive political corruption scandal hit the fan when rumors leaked that a city official had paid Mayor Wood a staggering $50,000 bribe for a contract. The state's legally appointed commissioner went to City Hall to take his desk, and Wood's cops physically threw him out into the street. The state commissioner immediately marched down to a judge and secured 2 arrest warrants for Mayor Woods, one for assault and one for inciting a riot. A lone state metropolitan captain called George Whaling was tasked with servicing the warrant. He walked right into City Hall, entered the mayor's private office, and said, "Mr. Mayor, you're under arrest." Wood looked him dead in the eye and said, "I do not recognize your authority," and waved his hand. Instantly, a dozen municipal cops rushed in, grabbed the state captain, and tossed him down the steps. Whaling retreated, but he came back an hour later with reinforcements. 50 state metropolitan cops, nightsticks drawn. What they didn't know was that Wood had turned City Hall into a literal fortress. He had barricaded the doors and packed the building with 300 heavily armed municipal police officers. The moment the state metropolitans hit the steps, the doors bust open and the city cops charged. And for 30 brutal minutes, it was an absolute war. Clubs swinging, uniforms tearing, brass knuckles flying. They fought down the staircase, through the railways, and out the City Hall's park. Outside, a massive crowd of street gangs, included Notorious, the Dead Rabbits, who backed the mayor, gathered around the park, cheered on the chaos, and pelted the cops with bricks. The state metropolitans were completely overwhelmed and forced into a bloody retreat. By the time the dust settled, 53 police officers were severely injured and 1 crippled for life. So how did it end, my people? Pure cinematic timing. While the bloody retreat was happening, a state metropolitan commander noticed a massive New York State militia regiment marching down Broadway. They were just passing by on their way to board a ship for a summer excursion. The police commander ran over, showed the militia general the warrant, and explained that the mayor was in open rebellion. And the 9th Regiment of the state militia immediately halted. They turned down the block, fixed their bayonets, loaded their muskets, and marched right into the towns of City Hall, completely surrounding the building. When Mayor Fernando Wood looked out his window and saw an army of loaded rifles pointing at his office, he realized that he ain't had no wins, y'all. And his hand was played. He walked out into the steps and finally surrendered. He was released on bail, and an hour later he went to trial. And in fact, because it was New York, Wood was politically resilient, but he was actually reelected as mayor a few years later, just in time for the Civil War draft riots. So the next time y'all think about modern politics or city bureaucracy, just remember, back in that time, man, it was crazy time. And all of that happened a while back out here in New York City on this upcoming week. I need to take a break from all that. Need to take a breath. But that's my show, man. And I'd like to thank everybody who sat here with me and listened to the whole thing. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment. Let me know how you guys feel about this episode. It is what it is. Thank you guys, man. You know, this is the OutLIer Experience. I'm about here. I will catch you guys again next week, my people. Peace out.